Hi you guys, I was hanging out in my space to craft. I had just made 24 little 3x3 envelopes using some inexpensive papers that I have in a big paper pad. They're pretty thin, so they're easy to use. And then I also had this embellishment sitting on my desk that I had made that I hadn't put away yet. And I decided, let's make a couple cards before I had, all these little 1.5 inch scraps. I didn't love any of them with that embellishment, but I really wanted to use the embellishment. But I had this old Creative Memories card base in my scraps that I hadn't used as a card. It's got a square cut out. This is the back side of it. So I just didn't love it, but I thought it would make an amazing card base to go with that embellishment that I made. So I decided I still want to do a card with the scraps. So this is going to be 2 cards in, it took me about 20 minutes to make the 2 cards. So that's pretty good. I have sped it up, so the total video is only about just over 10 minutes. I only sped it at 2 times speed. I didn't have to do my normal 3 times or whatever speed. So my blade was feeling a little dull. I think I had some stuff in the channel that was affecting it. So I do have to go in. You can see how bad that was. So I do that, and I think that I ink it to help hide any imperfections as well. And the color on here is brown, so I ink it with walnut stain. And that just helps hide any imperfections, the white core of it, and stuff like that. I did make 2 standard A2 card bases. And then I'm not inking everything since this is already put together, but I did decide to just ink the heart so that it could stand out a little bit more. And then the sentiment, I have a little container of a bunch of pre-made sentiments, some of which I stamped and some are pre-printed, like this one. It's from Paper Rose, and it's the back side of their cover paper from a collection. So it was a nice color with it, and a good sentiment that you could use for a birthday or a shower or anything. So I liked it. I am going to pop it up on dimensional tape, and I think I just put I do pop up the heart. I couldn't remember if I popped up the heart as well. So it's going to be pretty dimensional. It's going to have 2 things, 2 levels popped up on it, but I'm okay with that. So this embellishment I made, I had the heart sitting on my desk. I had cut it for something and not used it. And then I think I die cut the little turquoise piece, and then the other piece is just an ephemera, and I had a border strip sitting on my desk. So I was just playing around, trying to exercise my creativity, and made this embellishment, and then I just hadn't put it away yet. And so I thought, well, that makes a really quick card, and it looks like I put a lot of time into it, which I didn't at the time. So I have some, these are sort of a neutral cream color sequin without a hole. And I thought those would look good to add a little bit of color, not color, but shine to the card. And I'm going to do 5 in total, just sort of sprinkle them around. There's a couple different sizes. And that's a pretty cute card. We're going to move on to the other card. I decided not to put a base on this card or a mat, and I'm just going to make some little fishtail strips, and I'm going to make each of the papers a slightly different length. And I'm not using a die cutter or anything. I'm just using my scissors, cut up 1/2 inch-ish. I'm trying to vary it. And this one, you see, I make even a little bit smaller. And I think that's pretty cute, and it has a lot of those colors on this little pre-made sentiment that I wouldn't necessarily use on a scrapbooking page. So it's great for a card. And I had already pulled out some ribbon that I thought might go. It's a little brighter, but I think it still works. You can see that's from Fun Stamper's Journey. They have a lot of really nice ribbon, and I think I usually get it on sale. So I'm thinking about stapling it, and then I realized I don't have a little mini stapler, though it would have been really cute that way. So I'm like, all right, what do I want to do? Do I want to make another ribbon banner? No, I'm just going to go simple. Thread it through. Now the hole was too small and the ribbon too thick for me to do the double, so I did just tie it in a knot, which worked. And then I'm going to just use some red line tape to position those tail ends. I do have one more thing that I decide to add that I really should have added at the beginning. It would have been slightly more successful, but I make it work. So I'm going to get my red line tape. This is what I tend to use for ribbon, just because it's super strong. It's also really good if you're making a folio or something like that. It makes for a good strong stick. So I'm putting that on, putting the other side on. And then I decide, I'm going to put some little silver Nouveau drops on there because that tag has a little bit of silver on it on the end. So that's where I decide I'm going to add some silver to the end of the banners as well, to sort of mimic that tag. So I go and get my scraps of silver cardstock, and I need it pretty thin. And I'm just going to put one on the end of each, and it just really finishes it off. It makes it look, it really needed this. So on this middle one, I'm going to struggle a little bit to get it on there properly. Because I have to get it, I had already stuck down those ribbons. So that's a little bit of an issue to get my little tiny. Yeah, this is why it would have been easier to do this before I stuck these down. And they're not perfect, but I don't think anybody's going to notice. So I'm just finishing those up, trying to pull up that, and then I end up, I stretched the ribbon a little, so I had to trim it. So plan ahead, you guys, more than I did, but it still came out pretty cute. So now we can just take a look. I'll lift both of the cards up so you can see them a little better after I stop fussing with this. I am mildly impressed that I didn't mess up those Nouveau drops through that process. All right, so here's the thank you card and the best wishes card. Two very different looking cards out of scraps. Thanks a lot, you guys.